Now, for more about the Belt and Road Forum, joining me in the studio is Mr. Edward Tze, Chairman and CEO of the Gaofeng Advisory Company. Thank you so much for being here, Edward. So my first question to you is that how significant is it for China to have such an international forum promoting globalization, promoting trade, when the kind of protectionist sentiment is on the rise in the West?
It's a very, very important signal that the Chinese is trying to send out to the rest of the world that in fact China is a proponent of globalization and continuous opening up. It's important because, as we all know, in many parts of the world, in particular in some of the Western countries, it looks like the trend is towards more isolation or protectionism.
That's right.
It's critical, actually, that at this stage, for China to step up to exhibit the global leadership.
And many people have been saying, especially Western experts, they're saying that China, by putting on such an international show of this magnitude, inviting so many people, I think over 130 countries, foreign dignitaries and business representatives were in Beijing for this forum. They're saying that China is really trying to fill in this power vacuum for free trade that's left by the United States, given that Donald Trump is not exactly a proponent for globalization. What do you think?
I think that's true. You know, we certainly see the void that is being left over by the U.S. because of what President Trump is trying to do. It's also natural that China is trying to step up because China, for the last couple of decades, really has been the major beneficiary of globalization.
That's right.
And now China has the interest, in fact, the capability, as well as perhaps the financial power. So this is a very important and meaningful initiative that's now being undertaken by the Chinese leadership.
Do you think China is ready to take on such an important role? Because in the past, we know that, not, like you said, China is one of the biggest beneficiaries of globalization. At the same time, it's really showing the world how to do globalization right. Because not only that multinational corporations benefited from China's opening up, average citizens benefited tremendously as well. We lifted over 600 million people out of poverty in just about 3 decades' time.
Right.
So do you think China is ready right now to take on a bigger role, perhaps show the Western world that we can do globalization and benefit everybody?
Well, you know, it's very difficult to say, you know, whether one is truly ready or not. At the same time, as you know, China has been benefiting from globalization in the last couple of decades. China now, I think, is willing to give it a try. It's pretty complicated and pretty involved. And that's why President Xi Jinping is asking for the collaboration and the inclusion of a lot of other countries in the world so that this is not only a China initiative, but rather a global initiative.
That's right. We obviously learned that a lot of things are being accomplished at this forum, but in your opinion, what are some of the most important accomplishments at this forum?
Well, it's very clear. You know, if you look at the participants, you see participants from, you know, countries not only in, you know, rest of Asia, but also in Europe, Africa, Southeast Asia, but also even in Latin America and North America. You see a lot of inclusiveness. A lot of people, a lot of countries are sending their representatives to this forum, and I think this overall, you know, participation from a lot of countries is by itself a major source of celebration.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your insights. That's Mr. Edward Tze from Gaofeng International Group.